تهیه و تنظیم در استودیو بیزرایز.
Or 2019. In fact, some of my biggest businesses with the most amount of employees, the reason that I didn't pursue or start those businesses or move forward with those businesses in 2018 or 2019, even though I was given the opportunity to, people wanted to start the businesses with me, give me equity, blah, blah, all this, because I simply knew that back then I did not have the stress tolerance to be able to deal with it. So it's not an overnight thing. It's something that you build over time. But as I said, don't come to the first roadblock and think, oh, it's tough. It's not meant to be tough. It's all meant to be roses and fairy tales. I'm just trying to give you very clear expectations. I think when someone can talk to you very openly and honestly and say that, listen, it's not all perfect, I feel like at least you're a little bit more prepared to go into war. So definitely I can say this about myself, and definitely I can say this about some of the most successful people I know in any realm in life, by the way. Any realm, whether that's sports, whether that's business, whether that's even a high income career, working for a very lucrative company. You need to be able to handle a high level of stress and embrace it. The third trait to become a millionaire that simply isn't talked about enough is your charisma and your ability to persuade. Now, of course, everyone knows this, everyone knows it, but people don't place enough emphasis on it. You need to learn how to have charisma, and this is something that you can train, by the way. Bear in mind, most people don't assume this about me. I'm actually naturally an introvert. I like to be alone, I like to chill, but if there's a time and a place where I need to be, I am extremely charismatic because I understand that people like to listen to people who carry themselves in a certain way, who have a certain aura. And as I said, that doesn't mean talking the most. It just means learning charisma. And you need to understand that if you don't learn charisma, if you don't learn persuasion, you will be underpaid and you will be underbooked. So listen, whether you're trying to land a high income career, whether you're trying to sign clients and get business and sign deals as a business owner, or you're trying to be charismatic in order to inspire people to work for you at your company, you need to learn this trait. So real quick, guys, before we get into the fourth trait, I get so many requests for Q&As. You guys want me to answer some of your business questions, answer questions that are specific to you and your career and your life path. YouTube's not really the place for me to do it. And my personal Instagram is just a joke to me. It's just where I post some photo dumps from holidays I go on with my friends. So that's why very recently I started an Instagram called Talk with Iman. And that's where once a week, and I try my best to do it once a week. Don't kill me if it's not every single week, but I try my best. I answer your guys' questions and try to give you some real-time business advice. So if you've ever had any questions for me and you wanted me to help you out, go ahead, pull out your phone, type in Talk with Iman. You can follow me on there and stay tuned for the next Q&A. As I said, I try to do it once a week. Don't kill me if it doesn't happen. I try my best. Anyways, moving on to the fourth trait. You want to focus on mastery, not passion. And this is another big thing I've been telling people for years. It's funny, I've started to look at the self-help industry and realize just how much bad it's doing for the world. Like just how astray it's leading people. Trying to tell people, hey, focus on your passion. Let me tell you something, what you're passionate about today, you won't be passionate about in a month. And sometimes your biggest passions in life, when money is involved in it, it doesn't stay a passion anymore. So what you're passionate about today is not what you're going to be passionate about in 30 years. But what you commit to today, you will still be a master at in 30 years. And let me tell you something, when you are very good at something and you know that, you always enjoy it. You may not be over the moon, passionate, elated about it all the time, but you always enjoy it and respect it. And you always want to continue doing it because you understand how much blood, sweat, and tears went into it. So in life, don't focus on your passions. Find something you're interested in, dedicate yourself to it, focus on being a master at it. Now, once you're a master at it, or once you're very good at it, then you can add some other skills on top of it. And that's really where you sort of stack your abilities and stack the portfolio of things that you're very good at. But the main thing is just please stop it with the passion bullshit. The things that you are passionate about should be your hobbies. That's your downtime, that's your off time, because those things can always change. But when it comes to your work, when it comes to your career, focus on something where you hate it for a long time. But it doesn't matter, you stay dedicated to it. This is where I have so much respect for the Japanese culture because I see it time and time again. In Japan, teenagers will come on as apprentices and learn how to make knives, and they will do that for the next 60 years of their life. And I can tell you for a large portion of it, they probably hate it or they find it boring. But it doesn't matter, they find something and they stick to it. They have honor for the craft. And I think that's really what's missing in modern society is everything just needs to feel good and feel positive. No, focus on mastery, not passion. The next secret millionaire trait is you need to have an ego. Now everyone says, oh, ego is bad, this and that. And let me tell you something. I've said it for years. I've said it time and time again. You need to have some sort of faith. I don't care what religion you prescribe to. I don't care what you believe in, unless it's atheist. That's just the one thing I have never gotten behind, and I don't think I could ever get behind. But pretty much everything else, as long as you know that there is something bigger than yourself, and that humbles you, and you let life humble you, and you put yourself through difficult situations where life continuously humbles you, then your ego will stay in check. But that doesn't mean don't have an ego at all. Ego is what pushes people to excellence. I can tell you something right now. At my companies, the reason that I demand excellence from my team and me is partly ego. I love the fact that I know my team is the sharpest in an industry. I love the fact that when we roll out a new feature at my software company, I'm like, those guys didn't do it. Or you know what? Those guys have been around for 6 years, and we came in the last 2 years and completely blew them out the water. And listen, that comes from ego. Think about the best people in any industries in the world. They always tell themselves, hey, whatever you can do, I can do better. And that's not a bad thing at all. As long as they still submit to a higher power, a religion, a belief, whatever it is, as long as they do some sort of prayer, meditation, even just gratitude journaling, just something to humble themselves. And as long as they put themselves through very difficult life situations.
تهیه و تنظیم در استدیو بیزرایز.